Confidence isn't a trait, it's a decision. The only reason you lack confidence is because you've never installed it. Delete the version of you that doubts and replace it with the one that dominates. You might think your personality, habits, and the way you react to the world are who you are. But what if I told you it's all just a script your brain has been running from the moment you were born? Your identity was programmed into you. Your beliefs, your fears, even the way you think about yourself, none of it is truly yours. It was installed by your environment. The people around you shaped how you see yourself. Repetitive thoughts. The more you think something, the more your brain locks it in as truth. Societies, expectations. You were told who to be, what to believe, and what you can or can't do. But here's the thing. Your identity isn't fixed. It's just a habit. The way you see yourself is nothing more than neural pathways that have been strengthened over time. The more you reinforce a belief about yourself, the stronger that neural connection becomes. That's why change feels so hard, because you're trapped inside the identity you've repeated for years. But what if you could delete that program and install a new one? That's what this brain hack does. It forces your mind to abandon its old identity and accept a new one instantly. And once you do this, your old fears, doubts, and weaknesses start to vanish, because your brain will no longer recognize them as part of who you are. But before we get to the exact technique, you need to understand something even more shocking. Your identity was never really yours to begin with. Think about this. Did you actually choose who you are today? Or was it decided for you by your parents, your culture, your teachers, and the world around you? From the moment you were born, your identity was assigned to you. You were told what was possible for you and what wasn't. You were labeled as smart or shy or average before you even had a chance to decide for yourself. You were taught rules, what's acceptable and what isn't. But here's the part they don't want you to know. Your identity was never built for you. It was built to make you predictable. Society thrives on people being consistent, predictable workers, predictable consumers, predictable citizens. If everyone constantly reinvented themselves, the system would collapse. So instead, you were taught this is who you are. People don't change overnight. Some things about you are just permanent. But that's a lie. Science has already proven that. Your brain is neuroplastic, meaning it can rewire itself at any moment. The only thing stopping you from becoming someone new is the story you keep repeating to yourself. And that's why this brain hack is so powerful. It overrides the conditioning that's kept you trapped in the same identity for years. Most people will never break free from the identity they were assigned. But in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how you can. This brain hack is called cognitive identity override. It's a psychological technique that forces your mind to reject its old identity and accept a new one instantly. But before we dive deeper, you need to understand something crucial. Your identity is a story, and stories can be rewritten. The person you are today is nothing more than a story you've been telling yourself for years. I'm bad at talking to people. A story. Don't have confidence. A story. I'll always struggle with money. A story. These are not facts. They are self-imposed limitations. Your brain repeats them so much that they feel true, but they are just narratives that can be erased. And once you erase them, you can replace them with a new story, one that serves you. That's what this brain hack does. It rewires your mind to accept a new identity as reality. Instantly. Here's how you do. Your brain is wired for survival, not success. It clings to your current identity because it's predictable, even if that identity is filled with insecurity, self-doubt, or weakness. To your brain, familiarity equals safety, and change equals danger. That's why breaking free from old habits feels impossible, because the brain resists anything that disrupts the status quo. It doesn't care if you're unhappy or stagnant. It just wants to keep things the same. But if you want to force change, you need to override this system. You must shock your brain into releasing the version of you that's holding you back. The 24-hour identity reset. For the next 24 hours you must act as if the old you no longer exists. That version of you, the one full of doubts, bad habits, and excuses, is gone. You are now someone entirely new, and you must enforce this transformation in real time. Your words and thoughts shape your reality. Every time you reinforce a past identity, you strengthen it. But today, you refuse to play that game. Every time an old identity statement pops up, you reject it immediately and replace it. Examples of old versus new identity statements. I'm not good at handling pressure. I thrive under pressure now. I've always been this way. That was the old me. The new me operates differently. I'm bad at talking to people. Socially confident and articulate. First, your brain will resist. It will fight back with doubts, fears, and excuses. It will try to pull you into familiar thinking patterns. That's because your identity is built on habit. Loops, repetitive cycles that run on autopilot. But if you interrupt the cycle enough times, something powerful happens. Your mind panics. It doesn't know who you are anymore. And in that moment of identity confusion, you have the rare chance to reprogram yourself. You insert the new identity. You become the person you've always wanted to be. Your brain will eventually adapt to this new version of you, because just like it once clung to the old identity, it will begin to cling to the new one. The key is to persist through the discomfort. Keep rejecting the old self. Keep reinforcing the new self, and watch as your mind rewires itself for the powerful, confident, unstoppable version of you. Now that you've erased your old identity, your mind is in a fragile state. It's like a blank slate, open and impressionable. This is your window to rebuild yourself from the ground up, to shape your identity into exactly what you want it to be. For the next 24 hours, you must live as if your transformation is already complete. You don't try to be the new you. You are the new you. Want to be confident? You speak, move, and act like someone with unshakable confidence. Want to be dominant? You take control of conversations, make decisions fast, and never hesitate. Want to be fearless? You act before your brain has time to generate fear. At first, your mind will resist. It will whisper, "This isn't me." But here's the truth. Your old identity was just a story, and so is this new one. The difference this time, you're the one writing it. Before we continue, if you're truly serious about upgrading your mind and taking control of your life, then don't miss out on these two powerful resources I created just for people like you. First, the Whisperer's Handbook is a dark tactical guide to understanding human behavior and using influence to your advantage. Second, the Whisperer's Formula is your roadmap to mastering high-level brain hacks, focus strategies, and elite confidence techniques that separate you from the average. These aren't just books, they're mental weaponry. Grab both from the description below and take your transformation even deeper. Most people try this hack, feel an immediate shift, but then slip back into old patterns. Why? 'Cause their environment, habits, and thoughts are still wired for their past identity. If you want this transformation to stick, you must reinforce it with deliberate action. 2 simple techniques to solidify your new identity. 1. Change your environment immediately. Your surroundings are constant triggers that reinforce who you were. If you don't disrupt them, they will pull you back into your old self. Change your physical space. Rearrange your room. Get rid of clothes that represent the old you, and add new items that align with your new self. Change your digital world. Delete distracting apps. Unfollow people who reinforce old habits, and set up reminders that keep your transformation front and center. Change the people you engage with. If someone always sees you as your old self, limit your interaction with them. Their perception of you anchors you to the past. The more unfamiliar your environment feels, the easier it is to detach from your past identity. 2. Speak your new identity out loud with conviction. Your subconscious mind believes whatever you repeat with certainty. For the next 7 days, you must speak and act as if your transformation is already complete. Say these affirmations out loud. I am a powerful speaker. I am the type of person who dominates conversations effortlessly. I operate with unshakable confidence. At first, your brain will reject it. It will feel fake. But if you say it with conviction and act accordingly, your mind will accept it as reality. And once it does, your old identity is gone forever. If you commit to this fully, something unbelievable will happen. Your mind will feel clearer. You won't recognize the way you used to think. Your thoughts will shift. Old doubts will seem foreign, like they belong to someone else. People will react differently to you. They'll sense the shift before you even speak. You will feel a level of control you've never had before. Most people spend their lives trapped inside an identity they never chose. They think they're stuck with it. But today you proved them wrong. You took control. And now comes the real question. How far do you want to take this? Because if you can change your identity overnight, then what else have you been told is impossible? Most people will never attempt to change their identity overnight. Not because they can't, but because they're terrified of what happens when they do. This brain hack is powerful because it overrides the deepest part of your psychology, the part that keeps you trapped in who you think you are. But with great power comes a risk. And that risk is what keeps 99% of people from ever using this technique. Here's why this transformation is so powerful and why it might be too dangerous for some to handle. 1. It breaks the personality illusion. Society has conditioned you to believe that your personality is fixed. That's just the way I am. Some people are born confident, some aren't. You can improve, but you can't completely change who you are. That's a lie. Your personality is not a permanent trait. It's a collection of reinforced behaviors. It's flexible, adaptable, and can be rewritten at any time. But here's where it gets dangerous. If you accept that your personality is flexible, you can no longer use your old identity as an excuse. You can no longer say, I can't do that because I'm not that kind of person. I've never been confident, so I guess I never will be. That's just not who I am. The moment you realize you can change who you are overnight, you also realize that every limitation you've accepted was a choice. And once you see that truth, there's no going back. 2. It gives you an unfair advantage over others. Most people spend years trying to change. They read self-help books, set goals, and go through slow, painful transformations. Meanwhile, you just did it in 24 hours. You don't wait for confidence to develop. You install it instantly. You don't spend years fixing bad habits. You override them immediately. You don't let fear hold you back. You eliminate it before it has a chance to exist. And when you do this, you start playing a completely different game than everyone else. People will notice the shift. They'll say things like, "How did you change so fast? You're acting like a completely different person." It's like something just switched in you overnight. Because that's exactly what happened. While others are trapped in slow progress loops, you've hacked the system. But here's the dark side. 3. You may lose connection to your old self. This is where it gets dangerous. Once you override your old identity, you may struggle to even remember who you used to be. You might look back at your past fears and not recognize them anymore. You might find it difficult to relate to people who still think the way you used to. You might start questioning whether the old you ever really existed at all. And for some, that can be unsettling, because if you're not the person you were yesterday, then who are you? The answer, whoever you decide to be. But here's the truth. Most people aren't ready for that level of freedom. They're comfortable being trapped inside an identity they didn't choose because at least it's familiar. That's why this brain hack is so dangerous. It strips away the illusion of self and forces you to take full control. And most people would rather live in a predictable cage than face the unknown of complete transformation. But you're still here, which means you're one of the few who are ready to use this power. Now that you know the truth, you have a decision to make. You can either 1. Forget everything you just learned. Go back to being the version of yourself that was built by habit, fear, and societal conditioning. Convince yourself that change takes time. Keep living under the illusion that your identity is fixed and unchangeable. Or 2. Use this brain hack right now. Override the old you. Step into the new identity you choose. Experience what it's like to wake up tomorrow as a completely different person. Most people will hesitate. Most will go back to their old ways, telling themselves it's impossible. But a few, the ones who truly understand what I just revealed, will take action. So now the only question left is, which one are